Okay, thank you. Capital Improvement Committee meeting of Wednesday, September 29th. Late to arrive, Roland Waterhouse. We do have a quorum, however, even without him being here. So we are going to go ahead with this information. We can fill them in later. You all have an agenda. I've given you an agenda. Before we get into a whole lot of stuff, I want to say that this is our fifth meeting, and we haven't gotten any place. We've collected information, which is very good, but we haven't gotten any further than that, and that has to stop. I mean, our time is all too valuable for that. I am working on a calendar with the help of Tom, which he doesn't know yet. And where we will have, I do have a basic outline, where we will have certain things done by a certain date, so we can carry on. The only way we can do that is to keep moving forward and not going backwards. So I just want to put that on the table. And as such, I gave you a bunch of worksheets today that come from the capital improvement program that we were given by the treasurer. It is called Capital Improvements, Developing Capital Improvements Program. This is out of the state office. This particular booklet was put together by the Greater Portland Council of Governments. It has the stamp of MMA on it. For those of you who don't know, Maine Municipal Association is a legal supportive group of every town in the state. They have attorneys, they have insurance people, they have every place we might need to turn. They have someone there to help us out. So the first thing, I just want to say that I'm taking this a little bit out of order, but as I did say, we've been collecting a lot of information. What I have collected, as I told Joe I would when Kim, our treasurer, was here, she gave us the go-ahead to ask people for prices. If, not asking for bids or quotes, but, give us a ballpark on here. And I have 3 on the gym building, the old fire station, the gym, whatever you care to call it. And they range from a low of $4,500, which would be simply taking the building down, not the pad that it's on, but taking down the building and getting rid of the debris. The other 2 people that I spoke to, all local people, one was $14,500 and one was $15,000. And that was, again, all sight unseen, just seeing the exterior of the building. Yeah. Taking it down and get rid of the debris. To be transparent, those 2 did not say anything about the pad. And I know a question has arisen about, are they going to take the pad out? I would imagine if you take a building down, the pad goes with it. And I think for our purposes, and I know this is going to cause a little difference of opinion, but for our purposes, that is the price. That's what we need to know. What is the price going to be? Anything beyond that, is not in the scope of what we need to know. That comes in on under another question. What will it cost to make this safe, to make this a parking lot, to make it anything? We're just simply talking about getting rid of the building. So if we look at some of these worksheets we have, that's something we can put in there. I will make sure we have those in writing and I don't mean from the 3 companies that did them, but we have a piece of paper telling us that, so when we start putting this down.
Sure.
One of the things I'd like to go over was Michelle, you were both here when she came, and I thought she was terribly, terribly helpful and forthcoming with us. And I know you weren't here for that meeting. The things that I thought were quite impressive with her were, and I will get to the page, is in creating the document, what did she want? That's where these come in. So we will create this using what she has given us. And one of the things that we didn't ask her and didn't get from her is we need to know certain questions, like how much money do we earn in this town? And where, from, say, the ambulance, and where does it go? Where does that money actually go? Where does or how much money goes from, you know, dog licenses? What do we get for some of the services we are, you know, and how is that money distributed back out? Does that go into, you know, for fees, you know, different fees that we have? Where does the money go? Is it usable to capital improvement? Or does it just go back into the pot, so to speak? Because I know there is a lot of, in the budget processing, some people would believe, and Tom, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I give you $100 for your committee, and at the end of the year, you only spend $70, and you want $100 again for next year. And I say, well, you only spent 70. Well, yeah, I get to keep the 30, so next year I'll have 130. No, you don't. You don't get to keep what you don't spend. It goes back in the town coffers. I don't know if I explained that properly, but...
That's the way I've always worked.
Okay, yeah, when you're budgeting, I mean, you don't get to keep the leftovers, okay? Whatever the amounts are, you don't get to keep the leftovers.
You're given a limit. If you spend it, it's there. If you don't spend it.
It goes back into the pot to be redistributed.
Right.
So we're going to have to work closely with Warrant and Finance to see where money is, so we can look at some of the information we've collected. Again, not in writing yet, but from downstairs. You know, they do so much permitting and everything downstairs. The money that goes into there, that does not go back for land use or permits or whatever. It goes into the pot. Mm-hmm. And I know 2 years ago, we brought in more money than anybody else did downstairs, you know, building permits and all of that. So where does that money go to? Can some of that be siphoned to go to capital improvements? And if we can do that, and we prioritize the capital improvements properly, mm-hmm. and in a pecking order, you know, we may know of something that needs to be done, but we maybe got 8 or 10 years before it has to be done. But we also have something that needs to be done today. So it's important that you get familiar with what's in here. And I know it's a lot of reading, but you did get it at our first meeting. So I would like everybody to please make sure that they One of the things in here that will have to be an exception is, because this was done for a city, we have no sewer impact fees. We have no sewers in town. There's some things that, you can just go over. But what equipment do we have, what its value is, and what it's worth? We need to do that. One of the first things I think we can start working on, it's going to be a lot of stuff, is, from Michelle, is on this worksheet. It's, and this can be made over, okay? I just wanted everybody to have one.
Sure.
It's page 29 on the bottom of it. Our existing equipment. What is it? When was it built? When was the last major improvement? What's the current condition? And because this is made for a very broad overall, you have to look at this and say, okay, when was it built? When was the last major improvement? Well, when was the fire truck repaired? Or was it, or whatever?
Yep.
We have to fill it all into that. And we just have to start moving forward on this, or I truly believe we're spinning our wheels. And I just don't want to spin my wheels anymore. Was there anything that Michelle had said that you particularly resonated with you?
I just found it very valuable when she, said that we had the ability to go and kind of get some of these pricing ballparks and stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's just gonna benefit what we're trying to do.
Right.
Like you said, we're not trying to get official quotes or bids or anything. It's just, this is what it could cost-ish.
Right.
And, so that you guys have some sort of baseline when you guys are considering getting these things done.
Right.
So,
I think that worked.
Thought that was a big
That's
deal.
the way I felt. Joe, how about you?
As far as what Michelle said,
Yeah. Anything that resonated with you?
no, but I think it's good to use her as a reference from time to time, even have her come in to give us some sort of synchronization with the reality of the town's finances with the reality of what we would like to put forth as far as what's going to happen in the next months to the next 10 years. And so
Right. Well, one of the things that we should have to make this work better is a list of the last, this thing was truly outdated, and that's why I say we can do it, is what were the last, say, 5 or 10 year, and I would just bring it probably to 5. What were the last 5-year capital improvement items that we did do, that came to fruition? Not something that's just been on the books, and on the books, and on the books, and on the books. What,
would you say that the fire truck is? Would you say the new bridge over a canal is?
that was that on the books as a capital improvement?
I think that was on the list of future projects.
One of the reasons we're here is that there's been no clear municipal perspective of where we're going. It's kind of like, oops, we spent $75,000, oops, we need a new fire truck. This one will get a sticker, but 3 months before, nobody knew that, or they didn't say it. So there's been this chaotic municipal
And that is
directive, and this is one reason I joined this thing, because I got fed up with the.
Okay, but you know what, that's why we're going forward.
But I'm going forward, but going back to what you asked for, was there any sort of like, okay, the bridge is a capital improvement, the fire truck is paving the roads, or what?
Well, that's information.
What are we drawing as far as that's concerned,
Well, that's information we have to get from the treasurer.
No.
And there always was money for bridges. There always was, you know, money for certain things, but was it a true, you know, if we looked at last year's warrant, we could tell how much money was there for capital improvement. It might not say what it was, but we can get that from Michelle, and we need that. Is it going to be, I'm quite sure there was money last year for windows, because the town voted
Yeah.
on that.
But it didn't get done.
Wait, I'm not talking about whether it got done or not, Joe.
Yeah.
That's the point of this. I'm talking about there was money voted on windows. Okay. Now, we have to, you know, we have to see, did that happen or not happen, and why? Because then we can fix the why it didn't, you know? We can
Check the
say.
boxes.
It's, yeah, exactly. You know, it didn't happen,
That's all we're doing is
it's,
what it is, did it get done? When is it supposed to be done?
exactly,
That,
exactly. We put it there.
we can
And,
simplify it.
you know, we can look, historically, we can look at the furnaces, or new furnace that was put in here. I think we also voted last year, $25,000 for a new generator for the fire department. I believe that was what we voted. I understand that it is in process right now. Work is being done. That would have been a capital improvement. I also understand, but I have not heard from Michelle, that that is going to be over budget. One of the things we need to be cognizant of is if we're making any determinations or suggestions, we don't want to lowball things. We don't want to make it so high that it, you know, like pie in the sky.
Right.
Because we wish we could get a Cadillac when all we need is a, you know, Chevy
Sure.
kind of thing. But we need to look at that. So we're going to meet with Michelle a second time. And hello, Mr. Waterhouse.
I apologize for my tardiness. Thank you for the phone call.
That's certainly okay. We've just been catching up over the capital improvement program that Michelle had shared with us. And I have given you the worksheets that we are going to be working on. And we've also been talking about our meeting with Michelle.
Another one.
No, our meeting with Michelle,
Oh, the one that we already had.
the one we had, and
Yep, which
and I've asked each person who was there anything that stood out to you that we should be more cognizant of, or we should go back to her with, or anything like that?
Not that comes to my mind real quick. I thought it was a very informative meeting.
Yeah.
Some very good points were brought out. And, she was very forthcoming with any information anybody asked about.
Right,
I thought it was a great meeting.
good. I
Great.
think we all did. And for the next one, we'll hope you'll be here.
So
Because
too.
you will enjoy meeting her very much. Good. So, if you look at your agenda, you are, Virginia, going to see an offline, I'm sorry, dear, I didn't give you an agenda.
Do you have an extra one?
I certainly will give you mine.
Oh, no, you do have yours.
Okay.
Go through the,
Because, well, I have one on my phone, but we are going offline into an executive session,
oh, all right,
and it is a personnel matter,
okay.
which would be 405A-6, 405-6-A if I'm correct. But this,
Do you have to make a motion to go into executive?
yes, I need a motion to go into executive session.
Make a,
Go ahead. Make a motion for executive session.
Thank you.
second?
All in favor? Thank you.
Motion to come out of executive session
At 5:20?
at 5:20.
Okay, second?
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Right.
Thank you, we're back. Thanks, guys. I think that was very informative and educational for all of us. What I'd like to bring up now is we have accumulated quite a bit of information. Well, you're the new guy on the block. Let's have you give us your idea of our next step.
Okay.
Which is kind of-
Well, I haven't had a chance to review all of this, but I suspect it's similar in terms of what we have from all the departments, but probably not exactly the same in terms of format. And so we need to take that information and put it in a single format with information from all the departments. Once we have that and review it, I would suggest we send that back to each of the departments and just verify that what we have is correct. Is this what you told us? Is there anything missing? Whatever. Then I think, once we have that, we need to determine what the pricing is on this. How much are each of these items going to cost us? And then what's the time frame with which these department heads have said they'll need that? Seems to me that lays you out then, year by year, at least an initial stab of how much money, given what people are requesting, we think we're gonna need in order, if we did everything, which we're never gonna do. But if we did, that's what it is. It seems to me at that point is when we then work with the treasurer. They have an understanding of what resources are available, what other needs there are within the town, and we can work with her to try to put together a funding plan for how we're gonna pay for this, what sequence, and how much of it we're gonna do at what time. Does that make sense to people?
Yep. Makes sense.
And then I think it's up to the treasurer or the administrator, I'm not quite sure who does what, to take that, and we could be there, but to present that to the selectmen and get their perspective on that and what, how they would like to handle that.
And also be there to answer questions.
Answer,
where we
yeah.
are intimate with the
That's
data.
right, yeah. We may be asked to go back and do some more work, and that's fine.
Right. Well, and I also think if this, even though this is what we got from the treasurer, if this doesn't fit, there are all kinds of forms we can come up with.
I think we could keep it simple.
The KISS method works for me.
And, I understand you're a whiz with spreadsheets, is that right?
I do all right.
Yeah, well, I could, I know my way around a spreadsheet too, but I suspect you can just drop this into a spreadsheet and, there's probably, for each item, there are probably a half dozen data points that you need on each of them. And then, once you get all of those items, that, I think, puts us in a position where we can begin a dialogue with the treasurer and anyone else who needs to be brought in to figure out what we may be able to do over what time period.
So,
I've said enough.
no, you're gonna, nobody ever says too much. We're all here to learn and do. So, but I think we have a clear understanding now. Roland?
Absolutely.
Yeah? Good.
Without a doubt, we're gonna have to, have a joint meeting. Okay, with,
You have to excuse me with these new chairs. I
with,
just want to continually move, and if I'm
By the way, they're very comfortable. I was sitting in that one the other night and my
If these
back
were
was
capital-
killing me.
If these were capital improvement chairs, well done.
Well done, whoever.
Yeah.
But, well done, they're very good.
Nobody-
But, I
You know,
think,
without a doubt, we are going to have a joint meeting with, you know, selectman / town administrator / treasurer.
Yeah.
You know, to present the information and, you know, answer any possible questions that may be, you know, as,
Tom,
Tom said, you know, someone may say, well, you know, maybe you need to look at this a little bit closer or a little bit further. Can you get some more information for us, et cetera? You know, without a doubt, we're gonna have to have some kind of a joint,
yeah,
meeting at some time in the near future, or maybe not so near future, depending upon, you know, how things go.
yeah. I would say maybe not, I would like, I had said before you got here, I'm gonna work on a calendar. I think we need another meeting with Michelle first. We need to get some of this information all collated, as we've been talking about, so we know what we have. I mean, 50 pages from the fire department came down to one page with 4 items on it.
How'd that happen?
Me?
Oh, okay, great.
He's great, he does great
Yeah.
work.
Yeah, okay, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean-
I couldn't deal with 50 pages.
No,
That,
no.
you know.
And it, again, it came to the determination of, there is in here the definition of a capital gains.
Yeah.
What
We're on the
is.
same page as far as simplifying things.
Yes, we are all on the same page.
I'll make a suggestion. I'd be happy to spend some time with you, if you've done all of these inventories, to see how we might be able to at least put this together in a format.
Sure.
You know,
And
I,
that's what I've said. in
How would that
past
work for you?
meetings. I will
For the
put this
rest-
together, whatever makes sense to everybody. I don't care what way I put
no,
it together.
no,
Right,
just,
it's not-
just get it done.
Yeah.
Once we get it out of here, then we
Right.
can change it later if we have to.
Right.
Exactly.
But once we get it in one place and we see it, we don't have to be playing ping pong back and forth.
Yep.
Would that be all right if you're interested? I'm happy to work with you.
Yes.
To see how we can get this in some format that we can then hopefully pass off to the treasurer.
Okay, I will have to get permission for a subcommittee kind of workshop or a workshop.
Are you talking?
Well,
Explain yourself, please.
explain yourself, Lucy.
For these two to get together,
Yeah,
you don't need anybody's permission.
I don't think,
that's it, the 2 people we don't need, they
You
can,
don't need anybody's permission.
it's,
That'd be like me.
That's in the scope of,
Let me-
that's
let
like
me-
when you
let
guys
me-
were
let me
going
put it in a
together to the
different way.
different
That'd be
departments,
like
right?
me.
it's no different than him getting permission to consolidate. It just so happens we have 2 people doing it.
Yeah.
That's all. So it's administrative work that we're doing.
you know where I'm going,
I
you
know
know
where
where
you're
I'm coming from.
Oh, okay, what am I missing?
I'm new.
That'd be like Lois calling me up and saying, hey, we're gonna work at such and such cemetery.
Yes,
It's.
You can't do
We don't
that.
need anybody's permission.
right. But on the other hand,
If you wanna cover your.
Lois,
Yeah.
Lois has a meeting in another building that's not this
We're not
one.
having a meeting.
You can't do that. As long as you don't have a quorum, you're fine.
Well, it seems to me we have it videoed. We're making our intention very clear.
Yeah,
And I suspect if, there are people that review these. If there are any issues, we'll probably hear about it. And if we do, we can address that.
Yeah.
All right? But I don't think we're clearly not making decisions. We're simply trying to put information together so it can be brought back to the committee.
Exactly.
And reviewed. We're not going to be adding or deleting anything. It's just an administrative process to put it into a single format.
agreed.
So when would you like to meet again, please?
Oh, we're doing.
4 weeks out is October 27th.
4 weeks out is October 27th.
That's great.
Very good.
So 4:30 here?
4:30 here.
I assume that's a Tuesday, or Wednesday.
It is a Wednesday. Maybe we can talk offline and figure out how to get together, and, you know, whatever, I'm retired, so whatever works for you is fine with me.
Okay.
All right?
Okay, now, at one point, a sheet went out, which I'm sure you didn't get, that had phone numbers on it.
I thank you. I don't have everyone's
I will-
contact information. That would
I will
be great.
email you that.
Thank you.
You have everybody's?
Yeah.
Okay. Just asked.
I do.
All right.
Everybody's. So if we do that, and someplace down here, yeah, are there any questions from anybody? We have our next meeting.
Yep.
I would like a motion, please.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Virginia, thank